Hey guys, what's going on? So we have some cool news from Dave Filoni about the main villain for Star Wars going forwards, and I guess this is going to be for his movie, as well as Beyond the Mandalorian, because that's kind of what his movie is centered around, which is going to be the conclusion to Mando, Ahsoka, Boba, everything. All the shows that he's been part of. This is going to be the movie that will conclude all of that stuff, kind of like Endgame or Infinity War, stuff like that. So, who did Dave Filoni say is the villain of Star Wars New Republic era? In the summer issue of Empire, Filoni was asked if he saw Thrawn, played in Ahsoka by Lars Mikkelsen, as the big bad of this New Republic era. He confirmed this and elaborated on Thrawn's character and origin, describing what makes him different from characters like Darth Vader. Which, let me interject. When Heir to the Empire came out, I was 0 years old. It was 1990. I was just born. And one of the really fascinating things about Thrawn and being the new big bad in Heir to the Empire, which is after Return of the Jedi, is the fact that it's not just another Darth Vader copycat. It's not some like super powerful Force user that's, just kicking ass and taking names. It's someone who has zero Force abilities but has intellect beyond anyone else. And that's what makes Thrawn really interesting and really dangerous. Definitely, in my eyes, when Timothy Zahn wrote Heir to the Empire, Thrawn became this very iconic villain, because he was different than anything we'd seen before. Filoni explained, via the direct, he wasn't another helmet-wearing, lightsaber-wielding bad guy, There's a lot of pull to make characters that are like Vader, because it is so iconic. It is iconic, and it's so badass. But at the same time, they created Joruus C'baoth, who is like a clone of a Jedi, and they made him evil, but they didn't make him the main dude. Right? So they made Thrawn, who's an intellectual, doesn't have the Force like Palpatine, the main bad guy. But the boldness that Timothy Zahn, was to make somebody that wasn't like that didn't have those abilities, but could fight in a different way. In the words Star Wars, the war part of it, him being a Grand Admiral, a leader, a military strategist, a Moriarty archetype, someone that will outthink you, outstrategize you, that really resonated. He's a critical player in this time period. We are fortunate to have that character and fortunate to have Lars Mikkelsen playing him. So I think this is the right move. We don't need another Darth Vader, essentially, to be the next main bad guy. As much as, I'd love to see Darth Vader or like a copy of him, just because it's cool, but we can have those characters. However, they can all answer to Thrawn, and Thrawn can be the big bad one. Because when you have intellect beyond anyone else, you can see and strategize everything before it actually happens, which means you can have all your pawns, all your knights, all your bishops, rooks, everything in place before you actually need them. This way you can never be thwarted, you can never be overthrown, and you'll never be caught by surprise because you're always ready and you've thought of every scenario. And that was what made Palpatine so unbelievably efficient and dangerous, was that he wasn't only just powerful in the Force, but he was like Thrawn in the sense where he could see every single situation. And of course, he had the added ability of the Force with him, which allowed him to see further into the future. However, in the end, of course, it was his own power and anger that was his downfall, right? So when Vader started to betray him, Palpatine was so enraged with the dark side when he was lifted by Vader, he didn't really realize what was going on and what he needed to do to get out of the situation. He was just so engulfed with anger and hatred. And this comes from the Return of the Jedi book, that he just spewed his electricity everywhere and just didn't see the actual betrayal happening before it really did. Because he would have been able to feel that, that shift in energy. But he was so engulfed in killing Luke that he didn't see it. And by the time he did, it was too late. He was already in the air. And then he was just shooting lightning everywhere and didn't really know what to do because he was just so in the dark side, so entranced, so angry. So yeah, this being the final big bad for all the Star Wars shows, and being the movie that Dave's making, I think is the right move, because of course under him we can have Force users and stuff like that. But I think having someone like Thrawn is really going to be totally different and something that we haven't experienced before in live action. I think it's really going to take everything to the next level. It's going to be interesting to see how Luke or someone with the Force, someone powerful like Ahsoka or whoever, combat someone who doesn't have the Force, but has intellect beyond anyone else, light years beyond. That, of course, incorporated with the Ysalamari, which were these little lizards, which Thrawn would throw on himself, that were impervious to the Force and would repel the Force. It's going to be pretty difficult to defeat someone extremely intelligent like that. Thanks for watching today's vid. Let me know what you think below. Would you want Thrawn to be the main villain as he is, or do you want somebody else? And look, this doesn't mean we're not going to get Force users. We're definitely going to get other Force users like Jedi and Sith and stuff like that. So we just have to wait and see what happens as Thrawn leads them. Leave a like on the video if you enjoyed it. Catch you all on the next one. Until then, remember, the Force will be with you